Good morning. Good
Good
morning,
morning.
everybody. I had us running late today. I do apologize. I've been a little bit behind all week, but I'm super excited. Linda, we did not talk about what we're talking about, so I get to find out with everybody else. What are we talking about today?
Surprise. I thought today we could focus on what are your routines to get you started in the morning. And if you have routines and if you feel you need routines, what do you do to help yourself jumpstart on the right foot every day?
Awesome. So I roll out of bed. I go potty, I make cocoa, and I sit down and turn on all of my systems. Because normally I'm getting up at anywhere between 3 and 5 to start my second job. And so I will always want to make sure that I have time in that second job to, I multitask on my windows. So my prep in the morning is getting the business up and getting the second job going so that I can get things accomplished in the morning. Um, that's my routine.
Wow. That starts early, but I mean it sounds like to do what you're doing, you have to have a pretty good system to make sure that you're on track.
Yeah, I
So
have 3 alarms. I have an alarm set an hour early, like at 3, right? If I work at 4, I set the alarm at 3, and then I have a 3:30 alarm, and then I have a 3:45 alarm. So if for whatever reason I am tired and do fall back asleep, I have backups.
there you go. That's not a bad idea. My routine is usually, I'm not a I'm not a coffee person. So I usually start my morning off with either hot chocolate or a can of soda, but I do love orange juice. And so now that I'm home and I can kind of de-stress a little bit, I've been running on empty for almost a year. I'm having my orange juice this morning, which I love, and trying to be a little bit healthier. But like for me, breakfast can be whatever I'm drinking in a Pop Tart. So plug for Pop Tarts, cookies and cream. And it's not so much, I mean, I love the taste, but it's easy. I'm in my office, in my studio, and I can still get work done and eat breakfast and not have to be running up and down the stairs and doing all of that. But I really can't function if I don't shower first thing. That's how I wake up. And if I oversleep and I can't get in the shower before I have to start my day, I am sluggish the rest of the day.
I used to shower twice a day. I would shower, wake up and shower and get my day started, and then I would go to bed, shower before I went to bed. And because my partner works nights, he's normally asleep when I'm waking up, if he's home, and so that morning shower has gotten out of my routine. But I have made sure, even with my other job, I have an hour lunch, which I mean, I start at 3, so lunch
Yeah.
is 9 a.m. I make a full egg and potato breakfast every morning.
Right. And that fuels you because you're working some tough hours. Hello, Sophia.
Sophia showers too.
Yes, yes, most definitely. And I remember when our son was living here and working. Sometimes he showered 3 times a day. Number one, he was just, in his youth, he was a clothes horse and he changed clothes, I don't know, 50 million times a day, and then he would shower every time. But he used to work in a restaurant on the grill. I remember in my days working there, and I'm older, so that was in the days when your uniforms were polyester, and then you're working over a hot grill or in the steamy dish room, and you couldn't, I mean, you went home from work and you didn't do anything until you showered because you had to get all that grease out of you. People are like, well, let's go out for drinks. And I'm like, I gotta go home and shower first. I'm not going anywhere smelling like this, feeling like this. Ew.
Yeah.
But those are kind of the things that start my day. Now I know I've got friends that get up very early in the morning and they meditate, they do yoga, they do those kind of things that allow their minds to release and just kind of empty out before the day starts so they're not carrying anything over from the day before. And I think that's a wonderful idea as well. And my thoughts behind the topic today were not so much to tell you what you should and shouldn't do, but find something that works for you.
I think that's huge. I think that every person has a different mentality. Like when
Mhm.
you work somewhere that's very, you come home, you shower, you get to relax for the day, or you get to do things. I take a nap. There's those people who are like, "Are you an early bird or a night owl?" And I'm both. I love the early morning, I love the night owl, but I will sleep at noon. I will take a
That's a
nap,
good time to sleep too.
or or at like three
Everybody's at
o'clock.
work and it's quiet and
Yeah, or I will take a nap at 3 o'clock when I'm done with my day. Um, but don't do things that aren't like, if your body says do this, do this. If I took a nap before I broke my knee. When I shattered my tibia, I slept days away. We
well,
all know
yeah.
that. But listen to what your body says works for you. And sometimes we try to do things that don't work for us. Sometimes we try to roll out of bed and drink coffee, and then we have a grumbly tummy all day. Well, some coffee drinkers need food,
Yeah.
and some coffee drinkers shouldn't drink coffee.
Or they shouldn't drink like 40 cups of coffee. Um, the other thing is, now we're in November and the nights are getting a lot longer. There's a lot more darkness for people that have a traditional kind of job situation. You're leaving for work in the dark and you're coming home from work in the dark. And that can affect your mood. So you want to make sure that you are doing things that can help uplift you and refresh you since the daylight hours are so much less. Some people kind of fall into that seasonal depression, and if that's you, take that extra self-care time and do things for yourself. That means while you're at work, take your break or your lunch and make sure that you're running around outside, getting some daylight, getting some air. Um, if you're just able to get out and do some of those things that kind of lets you know that you're not a vampire. And I was always one that was up really early and I stayed up really late. My average up until I got sick, my average hours of sleep were like 4. And um, I thrived on it, but I'm getting older now and I can't do that so much. And I don't really enjoy doing it so much because I need to have a reason to be up. Now, if I find that I'm not sleeping and I'm just tossing and turning in bed, years ago, I taught myself, if you're tossing and turning for more than an hour, get up, do something for 20 minutes, doesn't matter what it is. But leave the bedroom, go do something for 20 minutes, and then go back to bed. And a lot of times that's like the reset. It's just, doing those self care routines that keep you on track. And again, everybody's different. So it's going to be different things for everybody. I'm not here to tell you what things to do. Just find the things that resonate with you and help you, as long as it's not shots of whiskey at 9 a.m. That's probably not a healthy habit. But
Right.
other than that, you know, do things that aren't harmful to your body but help you feel well.
I think and it's really important to determine, like you said, shots of whiskey, probably not good. Some people I know have had mudslides on their way to work, probably not good.
Right.
But if you're at home for the day and you're decompressing, maybe a mudslide is great. Maybe a shot of whiskey is nice. Maybe just sipping your whiskey and enjoying your glass of wine. Those are all great things to help you unwind, calm down, and be in your space. And it's really that who am I and what works in my space? What do I need for myself? And I think that when we are looking at that, if you're not organized, you are going to struggle with that self care. If you are, this morning I was playing catch up because I wanted your intro to be done, and I've been playing catch up all week and basically doing everybody's intro right before we've been going live. I have two more today, so hopefully I get those done when we're done. But if you're not scheduled, um, then you can't if you're not scheduling your day to day and you're not scheduling, this is when I need to leave the house. If you know to get to work at this time, I have to leave here. And when I say that, people, I mean, give yourself a 10-15 minute buffer because you don't know what's happening in traffic. You don't know what's going to happen when you do try to leave. Um, my kid is texting me and wants me to call them out of school right now. If you don't have that schedule set, you don't know where you need to do things. So if I know I have to leave the house at 9 o'clock to get to work at 10 o'clock, then I know my morning routine needs to start at whatever time so that I'm finishing up and I have a moment to breathe before I step out the door, right? My morning routine should conclude, not go into the car, right? Make sure that you're looking at how that space is. That way, if you wake up and you sit for a little bit longer on your coffee and you're just, that's the day, right? Instead of doing a few of your things, you just sit down and you read and you get lost in that. You're buffering yourself a little bit of space. So you're not continuously rushing yourself. And some people thrive on rushing. I mean, we talked, I think, Linda, we talked a while ago about people who thrived on just being late.
They thrive on deadline and missing deadline, or they thrive on that rush of trying to meet that and beat that. And over time, that's not healthy.
Yep.
That's not healthy on your body. And think about how you feel when your whole day is, you know, um, I know with what we've been doing for my mom for the last year, I'm on the down end and I hadn't realized how on edge I was every single day until now that I've been able to release a lot of that because we're almost done. And suddenly it's like, ooh, whoosh. I was running on pure adrenaline. And yes, we can do that. It's meant for us to do that when it's necessary, not as a day-to-day way of life.
Daily. Right.
That's not a healthy, sustainable thing. Now, if you're someone who thrives on that activity that feeds that and have your regular life not be so overwhelmed with that. I mean, and when you're younger, you think, oh, this is, it's great and it's not bad. But if you carry those habits into your 40s and your 50s and your 60s, that's no longer healthy. And a lot of health issues that people have when we get older, like in my age range, stem from the unhealthy practices in our youth. And
Yep.
I'm not saying as we get older, we don't want to do things. We do. We want to keep our minds active, but we need to look at our physical conditioning and are we really able to sustain that? Now, if you stay in excellent shape and you can, that's great. But, people live much longer than they used to. I mean, my mother-in-law is 90. My dad was 90 when he passed. Um, A friend of ours is 90, and he's going to be traveling with me to Florida pretty soon. And they're all very active people. So they're 90 and they're healthy and they're active and their brains are active, and that keeps them young. So do the things that, you know, you don't necessarily want to feel older. I don't feel my age at all. And not that 62 is old, but I know people in my age group and a little bit younger that seem so much older.
Yeah. I know for me, I can stay up until 10:30, almost midnight, depending on my energy levels, and wake up at 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
But the days that I have to wake up at 3, I have to be in bed at 7. Like, I have to sleep. And that's a huge time slot for 1 hour difference. But my body has always been used to me waking up early and in those spaces. But that one extra hour is like, it
Like too
stops
much.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
it stops me. That my body's like, okay, no, we need more sleep for this hour.
Well, and 3 o'clock is in that deep dark, between 2 and 3, energy wise, that's super low, which is why you need that extra time
Yeah,
just to get up an hour earlier, because the real dead hours of the night are 2 to 3 a.m.
yeah,
That's when a lot of people who have issues with depression, those are those hours that are crucial to get through. And our body that's usually when you're in your deep sleep. So it's much harder to wake up at that hour than it is even 15 to 20 minutes later. I mean, your body's in that zone, the sleep zone.
yeah, it definitely is. Well, everybody, if you want to know anything else about how to organize or just really create space for yourself, please reach out to Linda or myself. Linda can really help with that space of how can you honor yourself and be present to what is good for you. What habits do you have that are great, and what habits do you have that maybe we could kind of tweak or twist a little bit. She's really great at assisting with that. I'm great at getting you scheduled and calendared. Vogue, go wherever the QR codes are and book with us. We would love to spend some time with you. I do it all day, every day,
I
and now I'm
know.
just at Vogue mode because see, the plants are here, over here,
I
but
know
the
I have to
QR
keep
codes are over there
I know I have to align myself looking in
before you
the
get onto the
recording.
camera.
Yeah. You can just do this.
Yep. I'm voguing now. But we really look forward to helping you, and we really hope that you take this time and really think about what are my good habits, what are my not so good habits, and how can I adjust those. If you loved this video, go watch our YouTube, the QR code. We're on episode 13. I think that's a lie. I think we have more. I think I need to go do some counting.
We're
But
just
go
gonna
check
call
out
it
our
13 and
episode.
call it good.
Yeah. But go
Lucky
check out our
13.
right, exactly. Go check out our episodes and just kind of spend some time inside of who you are as you are and what's good for you. Thank you all so much, Linda. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody. Have a great one.